Hello, everybody, and welcome to Latinas with the Mic. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your host, Jennifer.
And today we have an amazing episode with the one and only Veena Jetti joining us. Veena is the visionary founding partner of Vive Funds. I hope I said that correctly.
Yep.
A powerhouse in commercial real estate. She's a leader in multifamily investing, but Veena is more than just business. She's a speaker, a philanthropist, and Forbes Council member. And if you think that that's all, think again, because Veena is also a wife, a mom of twins, and a passionate advocate for building generational wealth in our communities. So get ready to be inspired by Millionaire Mindset of Veena Jetti. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
That's a word.
We are really excited to have you
Yes.
here,
Love it.
honestly.
So for our
Amazing.
listeners that might not know you, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I feel like you gave me a stellar intro. It's hard to follow that up, right? Okay, so maybe I'll add a little bit of color. So like you said, I'm Veena Jetti. I am a large multifamily owner operator. I have bought and sold over $1 billion in my own portfolio as of last year. I also, the asset I'm most proud of transacting on was last year as well. It took us over the $1 billion mark, but more importantly, I was the largest all-woman led transaction in the entire country in multifamily. And so that was very exciting for me because we don't see a lot of women or minorities at the top level. So that was something that was important for me because I believe that diversity and representation is really important.
That's so true.
Yes, congratulations.
So
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
So
Great.
I'm into real estate, and we met at the Multifamily Peak Partnership 2024. So that was earlier in March. And when I went there, I had a very close mind as to like the multifamily investing. That was my first, I guess, breakthrough to multifamily investing. And I was seeing one of your interviews earlier where you talked a little bit about the misconception of people, because that was me when I went to the Peak Partnership. I had this misconception that you have to be well seasoned in single family before you even think about investing in multifamily.
Yeah.
She's like, mm-mm.
But I genuinely thought, no, there's no way. I cannot even look at multifamily because I just got to have like 80 rentals and I have to know single family so well. And I saw you speak a little bit about that in an earlier interview. And so I wanted to ask you, like, can you clarify that misconception? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that were like me.
Yes, I am one of those people that were like you. So yes, I think this is very common. I hear this more often than I hear anything else is, oh, I have to get really good at single family first. And I always go, why? And they go, I don't know. What do you mean why? That's just how it is. And I'm like, yeah, but why? And then they're like, well, and they'll like stumble or whatever. And then we'll finally get to the crux of it, which is, no, you don't have to do single family. In fact, if I could go back and redo everything, knowing what I know today, I would have skipped single family altogether. It is such a headache. The juice is not worth the squeeze for me. I wanted to make a big impact. I wanted to get to scale quickly. And that's why you need commercial, because it scales so well. So no, you definitely don't need to start in single family. Very common misconception. The problem is people don't really talk about it that much.
Yeah.
And especially in communities of color and women-led communities, there's not a lot of discussion around this or how to do it. And that's why, I teach about this. I talk about this. I never shut up about this because I want to see equity at the top, not just at the bottom.
Yes. I think for me, why I used to think that way was, and then I understood afterwards that it's two completely different routes. But I think for me it was kind of like, well, the whole lending process, I have to know how to do how to get the lending for like my investment property, single family, not realizing that it's two completely different routes, That was what it was for me, because I used to think like I have to get that horse down and then go on to the next.
Yeah, it's not actually the same at all, right? Because lenders in multifamily, they don't care about what Veena Jetti's credit score is. They don't care about my income level. I mean, they do to some extent, but not really, not the way they do in single family. In single family, they want to know every deposit that went into my account and every debt that I have and every credit card I have open and who I'm getting my down payment for. Like, they're so invasive.
Oh, wow. So that gives me, you just blew my mind right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I just bought my first, I guess, investment house last year. Right?
Yeah.
I know. And it's been a
Congratulations.
whole
That's
year.
amazing.
It made me really excited when I was like, okay, we have to renew our new contract or whatever. I was
Oh, there you go. I love it.
But then, now that you say that, it's like, okay, because I thought that single family was the best idea or maybe the easiest, maybe because I felt like cheaper in a way, at least when you see like the full,
okay.
now I don't know in the long run. Okay. I have not had the reality check yet. Nothing
has landlord.
Exactly. Nothing bad really has happened. I was fortunate
like
enough.
knock on wood.
Exactly.
You're like
Exactly.
that's the universe right now.
Exactly. But then listening to you talking is like, maybe I should have went and thought that through. But now, maybe for my second one, right, it's just something to think. Now I'm like, maybe I can look into that. For my second one, just go for commercial or something like that.
Yeah. Because multifamily is anything after like, 2 doors. So like a duplex is considered that, and like a triplex, fourplex, and then anything after that.
Very technically speaking, multifamily really only starts at 5 units or more.
Okay.
Up until 4, lenders still look at the asset as if it's a single family asset. So really, if you're going to get into multifamily, I always say go big or go bigger. Those are the only 2 ways to go.
Just go big or go home?
No, don't go home. Don't go home. Stay with us. Stay with us. Go bigger. Yeah, just go bigger. That's all. So you got to go big or go bigger. And also to remember that it's counterintuitively, it's much easier to finance multifamily properties because what you're financing is not real estate. You're financing a business. This is the business of real estate, not a residential real estate rental or anything like that. So it's very different. The banks will underwrite it differently. It's less risk for them.
Yeah, you're right. I'm recently started. Well, not started. I'm almost finished with the book. I don't know if you've heard of this book from Bigger Pockets writer. It's called Millionaire. I think it's like Multifamily Millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Investing in like I'm in the small one. That's why I was saying because I'm still like in the small which talks about like the 1 to 5 pretty much.
Okay.
And then after that is the large scale ones, which goes into the syndications and capital raising and all of that. But I'm still once I came back from that PIC partnership, my mind was completely changed. Like, okay, because I have a duplex right now. Yeah. I came back from there like, and I was telling my investor friends like, I just want I'm gonna focus on anything multifamily. I don't want to do single family homes.
Yes. And then just skip the 1 to 5. Go straight to the bigger chapters.
Yeah, because I was reading about that, and a lot of people also don't know that the way the banks see, like what you were mentioning, a commercial loan for multifamily versus, because a lot of people are, well, my credit score is not there, or I don't have this. Because for buying a single family, like you say, they pick you apart, and a lot of people don't have their shit together.
So let me ask you, when you say commercial, in my head, it kind of went to for like those commercial buildings where you have, is that what you mean, or you mean like I don't know, apartments or something like that?
When we're talking about apartment complexes, right? Anything 5 units and over is considered commercial. So that doesn't fit anymore on like your state promulgated contracts that your single families, there's like a format that they use that realtors can pull and fill out. We're not in that space anymore once we get to 5 units and above. So now you have attorneys handling the transactions. It's another level, but you don't even have to stop at the 1 to 5 units on your way. And quite frankly, Rosa, if I were you, I would just go straight. Okay, don't freak out when I say this.
It's okay.
75 doors. 75 units. Okay. Now, let me tell you how you're going to get there. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you how to get there. Okay.
Okay. Tell me.
The why is because at about 30 to 35 units, every 30 to 35 units you add, you're going to add about $1 million of net worth to your own balance sheet. Okay. Go big or go bigger. We're not doing this. If you just want to make like 10 grand, go do single family. Super easy to get into. You'll make 10 grand there. No problem. It'll be fine. But if you really want to exponentially increase your wealth, add a 0. Okay. And the only way you can do that at scale quickly is by getting to the commercial side. So we want at least 30 to 35 units because that's $1 million in net worth. Now, the reason I like 75 units is because at about 75 units, we can justify the cost of on-site leasing. We can justify the cost of an on-site maintenance person. So now you're not taking that 2 a.m. phone call about the leaking toilet, right? You have a team that's doing that. And so the way you're going to get to 75 doors is you're going to do two things. First, you've already started doing, so good job, is showing up and getting educated. Getting the knowledge base is the hardest step that anybody will take because most people won't even show up to do that. So kudos to you. You've already done that thing.
Yeah.
But the second thing is find partners. Finding good quality partners that can shorten your learning curve and lessen your risk is absolutely the ultimate hack to doing bigger and better deals. And then you get that first 75 doors, you get your second 75 doors, you get your third 150, then you go to 200 and you scale up deal over deal over deal. And it gets much easier because you get better. The deal isn't easier, but you're better.
Yeah. The experience said, yeah, you know what? You don't planted something in me.
Exactly.
Somebody has to do it. It might as well be you.
Hello. That is so true. And over here, we are based in Memphis.
Yeah, I love Memphis.
And Memphis right now, I feel like there is a lot of opportunities out there.
Oh yeah.
Because now there's a lot of like buildings and everything that we can actually look
for sure.
Yeah, no, there is. I think it's just like you said, I have the first part down. Now it's the building partnerships. You know, I need Johnny to rub some of her networking skills on me.
Or you guys partner up.
That could be a thing.
That could be a thing.
We were just talking about building wealth and what that meant, and we are very different people. We have very different beliefs because, you know, for me, building wealth or I want to be the first millionaire in my family. So
You will be. I will be the first millionaire in my family. Yes, you will.
So that's like my goal, right? And so I have like, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. That's for me, like the building wealth part. So I am like, you know, hustling. Like that's the goal. So how do we get there?
Love.
Johnny, on the other hand, what is your?
I mean, I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking to the same thing because it's not because I don't consider myself a go-getter. It's just I don't see it as a priority.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's fine.
You know, I'm just super like, I don't know, like as long as I'm good and I'm comfortable and I don't have bills to worry about and stuff like that. Like
so financial freedom as well.
Exactly. So I don't see myself like I need to be a millionaire. Which I know, you know, I don't knock her down. I'm like, hey, that's what you want to do. Let's do it.
Do it.
You know what I mean? Like 100%. It's just me. I'm more like laid back when it comes to that part. It's like,
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't think either approach is wrong. And I actually don't think they're all that different, to be honest. Because I don't have like a number in mind of, oh, I want to be worth this much or anything. I did want to be a millionaire by the time I was 20 or at 25. I said, by the time I'm 30, I want to be a millionaire. And then I hit that goal at 27. And I was like, okay, that's great. Now what? Like, I'm not going to retire. I'm only 27 years old, right? This was over a decade ago now. But what happened was, and I said, okay, I just want to do more, right? And then it became 5 million and then it became 10 million. And that number just kept moving. But today, that number doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. What actually matters to me is what you said, Johnny, is that my family is taken care of. I'm comfortable. I have enough to do all the things I want and then some. And that I can go and do it with the people I want to do it with. Like, if I have a friend who I want to be at something and they're like, I can't afford it, don't worry, I'll get your plane ticket and hotel. You just show up because I want to be in your presence. I don't care if it costs me another $5,000. It's pocket change, right? So for me, that's how I look at, like, that's comfort to me. So I don't think they're actually all that different. One is a means to an end, really.
Yeah, I think at the end it's really just is that financial freedom of just being able to do what you love, you know, with the people you love. You just don't have to, like Johnny said, I don't want to have to worry about bills, you know. But I have that goal, like you, like I want to be the first. I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. Then after that, you know, it's like whatever. But
I love it.
Goal person. And we were just talking about like how do you achieve that without losing yourself in the process. Because we have these conversations all the time.
Yeah.
Where Johnny feels like I am like I get lost there a little bit, or how do you?
What I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
even just about me, of like, I want to do this, and that, and she's like, when do you have time for,
Well, because the thing is like the three of us, we're moms, right?
Yes.
And our kids are in all different ranges. And my whole thing is that sometimes I feel like if you're always like, go, 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 when it comes to the business side, right? In what moment do you stop yourself to like, hey, hold on. What about my kids? What about my house? What about, that
just
part?
like to enjoy the present. And she always tells me that like we'll have those conversations because I am that like go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, how do you not get lost in the process?
Balance.
When you're trying to achieve those big goals,
Yeah, the reality is you are going to get lost in the process because in order to do the things you're trying to do, you have to get lost in the process. You have to be so in love with the goal that you're pursuing and the thing that you're pursuing. It has to be worth giving up some amount of your family time. You're going to sacrifice to get there because it takes sacrifice. If it didn't take sacrifice and it was easy, everybody would do it, right? But you get paid well because you're willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do. So for me, my kids are 5. They're 5-year-old twins. They just turned 5 last week. They're going on 15. They're sassy as hell.
15. I have a 15-year-old, so I get it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when they're actually 15. I don't know how anybody survives this.
You're gonna have to learn.
It's crazy, but I will tell you, it's my favorite thing that I do. And my kids are without a doubt my why. They are my guiding force. So what I would say is, 1, narrow down your why. Okay, so
why are you doing it?
Yes. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a millionaire? Why are you going to be a millionaire? Why $1 million? Why not 10 million? Why not 10,000? Why not 100,000? Right? Like $1 million is just an arbitrary number unless you know why. Right? So 1 is have a why that is so strong, and your why can't be like, oh, my kids. Right? Because everyone's why is their family, their kids, some variation on that, right?
Because I sure was like my kids.
Yeah, I know. That's what everyone says. You have to be very specific about the why, right? Like, so for me, it was when one of my daughters at 10 weeks old got diagnosed with a liver tumor, and I didn't know if it was going to be okay. I thought we were going to have to be battling with cancer. And thankfully, her liver tumor ended up it was a misdiagnosis and it was actually benign. Thank God. But in that moment, I had to make some really hard decisions in my mind of how we were going to move forward. And for me, I never want to be in a position where I am ever thinking about money over what's best for my child's health or my family's health. So when I say a why that is so strong that you would die for it, I mean like a strong why, not just your kids. Like why is it important that you do this? Like what do your kids need to see, believe, hear, and feel for this to be important enough for you to do this, right? So then that leads me to the second thing, which is I cannot be the best version of Veena Jetti as a mother and as a wife without being Veena Jetti, the entrepreneur, because that gives me purpose and fulfillment. And because I am fulfilled and I'm happy and I'm purposeful at work, I can show up in so much better of a way at home for not just my kids, but for my husband, for my parents, for my sister, for my in-laws. So it's knowing and understanding that the version of Veena Jetti that doesn't do this, that just stays at home and takes care of kids and stuff. First of all, I would go nuts. Like, shout out to the stay-at-home moms, because that's the real hard job here.
Well,
I don't know how they do it.
We're both entrepreneurs, so that's not our thing. But yes, I agree.
They are like the real MVPs. And then like extra shout out to the single moms. Like, what? People do this all by themselves?
Yeah.
This is insane. Because I have like all 4 grandparents in my neighborhood. I have a nanny. I have a husband who's super involved. I have like a whole village. I have maids. I have a driver. Like I have all the people, and I'm still like, oh wow, I'm so tired. This is so I don't
You
know
know,
how
I don't know
someone
how they do without her.
I don't think I could survive, honestly. So,
Uh-huh.
it's also knowing that I am the best version of a mother for them when I am doing this. And it's also, I have daughters. And so it's really important for me that my daughters see that they don't have to choose between having a family and having a successful career, business, or following their dreams, their passions,
Right.
whatever those are. And so I want to be that example for them so that
Mm-hmm.
when they go to choose their path, they know that they could choose to be stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, whatever, and that's cool. There's no judgment there if that's the decision that they make. But I
Exactly.
want them to know there's more possibilities than what's historically been possible.
And you want them to know, like, it has to be by choice. Like,
Absolutely.
you can choose to be a stay-at-home wife if that's what you want to do. You
Sure.
don't have to do it because your husband, because
Absolutely.
whatever, like,
because what society thinks,
or because financially
Yeah.
you guys cannot afford maybe somebody to pay for the kids.
100%.
So yeah, that is great. That's a great insight right there.
Yeah, because I think there's and you mentioned it earlier, where you was like, we can't have it all, or what is that?
Yeah, like I was saying, like, in order for you to get, and I guess in this part, right, on being
Yeah.
this successful woman, you cannot have it all. So you're going to have to give up on some things, and you already said
exactly
it.
what
You
she
said,
said,
like, you're gonna have to give up some time with your family. You might not be there for every activity. You might not be there the whole time as much as they would like to, maybe right now, in order for you to get to your goal.
Absolutely. And, I'll tell you one thing that's really shifted my perspective. So I grew up in a house where my dad traveled like 45 weeks out of the year. He was traveling nonstop when we were growing up. My dad is like the best dad on the face of the planet. He was super involved. I don't remember him ever missing a birthday, a dance recital, a parent teacher conference, anything. He never missed anything. When I think about it logically as an adult, I'm like, oh, he must have missed things. I can't remember the times he's missed because when he was present, he was so present. And so I have the same philosophy with my kids. I have to accept that I need to go for quality over quantity. So between 5 and 7:30 p.m., I don't schedule any calls. That's my time with my kids every single day that I'm at home. I turn my phone off. I'm not that parent that's like sitting there like, oh, okay, baby, how was your day at school? Blah, blah, blah. No. My phone goes off and to the side. If I am on my phone, even in my office during working hours, if I'm on my phone or on my computer working and one of my daughters walks in, assuming I'm not on like a call or a podcast, right? But if I'm just working and one of them walks in, I don't answer them like this. I stop. I get down to their level. I look at them at eye level and I interact with them because things that seem small to us seem big to them right now. And as they get older, they're not going to share big things to them if I shut them down at 3, 4, 5 years old. So I really look for the quality time. And then we have like our own special fun rituals. Like every couple of weeks, I'll take one of them because they're twins, right? So I try to do separate times. So I'll take one of them on a date and then the other one will go on a date with their dad. And then the next day or the next week we'll switch and I'll take the other one on a date. And it's just really good, like one-on-one time. They love it. They always ask me, they're like, hey, mommy, I wanted to ask you out on a date today. And I'm like, oh, where are you going to take me? And like we get dressed up and we do fun things and it's just good time, just one-on-one time with them. So I really go for quality over quantity because I don't get as much time, but I get a lot of really good quality time.
That's a big thing. I think that's something that took me a little bit, and even Johnny pushed me about this too, about being more present, because I used to be that of like, my kids will be and I will be on my phone or, and I had to like, and I'm still practicing putting my phone down and being present. It's something we just talked about last week where I was like, I really want to just be present. Because I am always on the go. I'm always like thinking of what am I doing next, and I wasn't realizing kids are like sponges, they are. I have an 8-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter, so I'm dealing with two different spectrums of raising kids.
Like bow down to you.
Oh, yeah. and also to us, it's like we both work from home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes we have this idea of like, I'm always with them all day.
Yes.
But it's like, are you really with them?
No,
because you guys are in the same space, but are you really acknowledging them? Are they really acknowledging you too? Like that little thing right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, they're sponges. I mean, they are absorbing so much just from being around us. And so I think like another thing that we do at home is if my kids ever ask me to read them a book, I never say no. Asterisk for like, we're running out the door because we're late to something. And they're like, can you read a book? No. But I say not now. I always say yes, absolutely after dinner, or yes, absolutely before bedtime, or when we get back home, or whenever that next opportunity is. But I never say no to reading books. I always answer their questions. So I try not to, I already told you, blah, 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 blah. I try not to do that. And I try to really model the behavior that I want them to exude. So yesterday, one of my daughters, she's my sweet baby. She's so sensitive. And she was crying yesterday because she didn't want to do laundry. And I said, yeah, I don't either. I totally understand. It sucks doing laundry. I hate it. She goes, yeah, I hate laundry. And I'm like, I get it. Who's going to do the laundry? And she's like, oh, my nanny. And I said, no. Your nanny works for me. She doesn't work for you. She works for me. You don't have any money. So if you want to not do laundry, you absolutely don't have to do laundry. But then you have to earn enough money to pay somebody to do your laundry.
Oh my God. Is that like a millionaire mindset? Let me tell you.
I think so.
We just had a podcast also with Vanessa Alfaro.
Oh, yeah, she's great too. She has twins also.
And Vanessa she literally said the same thing. She said that some of her kids be like, I don't want to clean my room. And she's like, well, who's going to clean it? She's like, the maids. And she's like, they work for me. They don't work for you. Yes. So get that straight. And that's so true. That makes so much sense. It's like,
yeah. I said, great. You don't have to. You have to hire someone. Do you have any money? No, you don't. Okay. How are you going to earn that money? I don't actually care that much if they know how to do laundry or not. It's not like a life skill for them, but I want them to understand that they have to do really hard things if they're not making enough money to outsource those things. That's just the way the world works.
So let me ask you, as a female entrepreneur, right? We are ourselves too. I'm not really sure, obviously, about your career and everything, but real estate normally sounds like it's normally dominated by men. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've seen, right? I'm not 100% sure if that's like a reality.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that maybe during that time you have faced some challenges.
Oh, yeah. Many.
Right? So I would like to know, like, can you share some specific hurdles that you have maybe overcome?
Oh, yes. There's so many. Women? Yeah, there's so many. So real estate is not represented by women very much. Definitely not enough. Yeah, definitely not enough. Only 31% of women or of investors are women, or people that consider themselves investors are women. So we have a long way to go to seeing diversity and equity. With that, if you look at multifamily and private equity specifically, it's even less that are women and even fewer that are not white people. This game is primarily like 80-year-old white dudes that went to like Harvard. Right? Like that's the demographic of who has historically been in this space. And they've done really great things and they've paved a lot of roads for us. But we need to see more diversity and equity at the top. So right now, as I'm in rooms, even to this day, okay, I speak on some of the biggest stages in this space. Okay. There are stages where I easily am speaking in front of tens of thousands of people. I will almost inevitably have someone who will run into me before I've spoken and they don't maybe know I'm speaking, whatever, and that's fine. And they'll say, oh, I'm Joe Schmo or whatever their name is, right? And then they'll start talking to me and I'll say, oh, I'm Veena Jetti. So nice to meet you. What do you do, Joe? Like, tell me more about you. Because I'm a people person. I want to know everything about everyone, right? Like, I'm the person that's like, okay, start from the day you were born and don't leave out a single detail, right? Like, that's how I am. I'm like, so
about yourself from yesterday and move
everything. Yes. I want to know what you ate. I want to know who your family is. I want to know what they ate for dinner. Like, I want to know everything. I'm like so nosy. But I've had many times where there are people that are like, oh yeah, I'm starting out. And I'm like, okay, that's amazing. Where are you getting stuck? Like, how can I help you? Like, what's the thing you need? And I'm trying to think about what I would have wanted to know in their shoes. I often, more often than you would imagine, have men that will be speaking to me and they'll cut me off and they'll talk down to me, or they'll say something that I'm like, I don't think I agree with that. And they're like, oh, well, you wouldn't know unless you did blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, you didn't take the time to ask me enough questions about who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, amazing. So tell me, like, how much money did you raise on that first fund you did? Yeah, well, like, you want me? Yeah, show me yours, and then I'll show you mine, right? But like, I've had a coach from someone else's community coach me and tell me that I should book a call with him because he could really teach me how to raise capital better, which I love, and I'm totally open to the idea. There are many people that are way better than me that I could learn from. So I asked him. I said, "That would be awesome. Thank you for offering that to me. How much money have you raised?" And he said, I asked him what his asset class was. And he goes, we target class B value add multifamily. I was like, awesome. We have a lot of synergy. How much money have you raised? And like, what have you found to be the most successful? Do you know what this man said to me?
Oh my God.
He has the audacity to look me in my eyes and say, our first fund is launching in a couple of weeks.
So yeah, oh my Lord. Oh my God, sir! Did you saw that I raised $5 million in 8 weeks? What are you talking about?
Yes,
50 million, like,
50 million.
Johnny, add that zero.
At that time, I think it was like 200 million I had raised total, right? Like today it's over 375. Yeah, it was way more than he had raised is really the point. And it's more than most people have raised. So I said to him, I said, this is my response. So I like to call myself Petty Jetti when I sometimes
Petty Jetti, I love that.
My alter ego, she sometimes comes out. So Petty Jetti just happened to show up and she was like, I remember when I first started too.
Boom. Did you want to book it
and I was like, that's amazing. If you need help, let me know. Because what you didn't take the time to ask me about is that I've raised, at that time it was 200 million. I've raised over $200 million for class B value add multifamily assets. So happy to share with you what I learned and what I know.
Exactly.
But like these things happen all the time. I've had brokers on like $40 million properties that I'm buying. I'm the buyer on them. I'm signing the contract. I'm paying your check, broker. And you have the audacity to ask me when my husband is showing up to a property.
Yeah.
And so, Petty Jetti showed up there too. Yeah. And she said, it would be really weird if he comes because I didn't tell him. Did you reach out to him to let him know we were touring this? He's like, no, I was like, okay, well, when's your wife getting here?
Exactly.
And
talk to her.
And he was like, my wife? I was like, yeah, I thought it was so weird that we were going to bring spouses to our business meetings.
People that don't have nothing to do with this.
It's so weird. And so, yeah, I mean, like the amount of nonsense is comical. And it still happens so often. I've had people apologize to me for saying that they judged me based on how I looked, but I'm actually smart too. And I'm like,
so I look dumb
thank you. I don't know what you want me to say.
Maybe I should take a better selfie.
I'm like, we could have gone our whole lives without you telling me this, and it would have been totally fine. Like some thoughts you should just keep to yourself.
So just because I'm nosy, what does your husband do?
My husband. Okay, so my husband is a physician. He's an anesthesiologist. Okay. He literally knows nothing about our assets or where we own them. Like if I asked him right now, what was the last one we bought? I don't know. I'm going to test him and I'll see. But I think he would say our last asset we bought was in like Georgia, in Atlanta. But I haven't bought in Atlanta in 3 years. So
he's like, I don't know. I just know that money keeps coming in. And that's all that matters.
Exactly. He knows where his bread is buttered.
Exactly. That is so great.
That's what I feel like you have to have, especially as a woman in this business or any business that is mainly male dominated, like a strong mindset, and you have to be very confident, because if at some point in your real estate career, when some of these things happen to you, did they ever affect you personally, where maybe you left the room thinking like, am I in the right room, or mess with your confidence at all?
All the time. This week I've spent sorry, I have hiccups now. Can you guys hear me hiccuping? I spent
to cry. I'm like, please don't.
I need to like stand on my head and drink water or something. This week I've spent 3 hours of my week with my coaches, because I had that exact question. I'm like, I had this business thing I was doing, not related to multifamily, but another business I have. And I was like, should I even be doing this? What if I'm just wrong? And it's because I kept hitting failure after failure after failure. And that is tough. But I will say that failure is what happens before you hit success. And I know that to be true. And so I surround myself with a lot of people, coaches, mentors, friends that can lift me up in those moments when I have that self-doubt. So there were 3 of them that I called. One is my mindset coach. Her name is Rosie Noel. She's incredible. You should have her on this podcast. She's awesome.
I saw you tag her on Instagram, and I went to her page and I was looking at her just earlier today.
So good. Yes. Okay. Send me a message on Insta and I'll connect you too. But you should definitely have her on your podcast. She's amazing.
Thank you.
I coach with her twice a week at a minimum. I also coach with I have a leadership and EQ coach. He's actually one of the CEOs for Canon, like one of the Canon companies. He's a CEO. He's been for the last 6 years. He's incredibly smart, great at structuring, running a business, creating EQ, and great leadership skills. He has a framework called the ADAPT framework, like the leadership ADAPT framework. So it really helps you be like a better leader and business owner. Cannot recommend him enough. He's harder to get though, because he only takes a handful of clients at a time. And so anytime a spot opens up, he has like a waiting list. So it's impossible to get in with him. But if you get the opportunity to coach with him, you should absolutely take it without a doubt. His name is Andreas, the CEO on Instagram, Andreas Peterson. Rosie is the Rosie Noel, Noel on Instagram. And then, my sister is there. She's my partner. She's my ride or die, my best friend forever. She's the first person I always call when anything is chaotic and going on, because she's always going to be the person that breathes life into me. And then I was on a call with Nick McGrew, who's our attorney, and he acts as outside general counsel for us, but he's our securities attorney. So he has a really intimate understanding of all my businesses and how they're set up and how they run and what's doing well and what we need to change. And so anyway, I called them and I was like, look, I have people that are saying I'm not cut out for this and I shouldn't do it and I'm not good at this. And, they're like, look, you're forgetting. You're Veena MFing Jetti. Like, what are you doing? And that's exactly what they did. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah. Sometimes we do need a reminder.
Yeah.
And they just poured into me. They helped me strategize out of it. And they really took my mindset from like down here back to where it was. Yeah. And you really need people like that in your life, whether you pay for them or they're your friends or your sisters or your mom or your dad or your cousins. It doesn't matter. You need people in your life that can pull you out of those times where you have self-doubt, because that will happen. Imposter syndrome is real, especially when you're a woman, especially when you're a minority, because this whole world sends you subliminal messages that you're not good enough. You don't belong here. There's no room for you. It's just not true. And that's why we need more diversity at the top, right? Because if we had 50% of every boardroom was women and or minorities, then when I see that, I'd be like, oh, okay, I am good enough. I could be them. I should be them, right? And that's why it's important. Representation is so important.
Yeah.
So important. Yeah. And just like we were talking earlier about like the moms, us being moms and also working moms and all of that. I feel like there's so much shaming in that, right? When you're trying to be successful, you're trying to reach a certain goal as a woman, as a mother, as a working, so those are things that we constantly have to fight our own selves, like our minds with like, no, I am a good mom. Like,
yeah, like am I a good mom or not?
Yeah, like I am a good mom. I am a good wife. I mean, I'm not, but you know, but you know, just us, like I can take care.
You will be too.
I will be
One day.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Look, the narrative is that there's only enough room for one woman at the top.
Yeah, I know.
That's bullshit. No.
Absolutely.
We can all be at the top. There can be men and women. And I think when people hear me talk about diversity, they hear me say, like, we need no white men. That's not what I'm saying at all. We need white men too, because that's true diversity. If we only have women, there's no diversity still. We need those voices too. So, and I will tell you, white men have been some of the biggest champions of me and my career. Andreas, who is my mentor, my friend-tor, if you will, he's a white dude. And he's amazing, and he has championed me, and without him I wouldn't be where I am today. And so, you know, I say all of this to say diversity means that there's representation at the top.
Yeah. I agree with that part.
So, and yeah,
you know, just how we were talking about men putting adversity, some women too.
Women do too.
Trying you too.
There's there's some women that are not. What is that word called? Girl.
A girl's girl.
They're not a girl's girl. I
hate that.
It'd be your own kind that
they see you as
a threat instead. And for me, it's more like, can we just all work together? Do you realize how powerful we would be, you know, if we unite together and we work together?
Right. So you just have to find a better room. If you find girlfriends that are competitive with you, they've got to go. My girlfriends, you should see how my girlfriends show up for me. It is absolutely insane. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. Jen Gottlieb, she is like one of the most incredible humans on the face of the planet. She has a book called Be Seen, which you absolutely should read because it will really help get you out of that imposter syndrome mindset. I text with her like every couple weeks. We'll text each other because we're busy, right? We both run really big, important companies that are doing a lot of things and blah, 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 blah. And we have these busy lives and we speak on a lot of stages, and we'll text each other, and it'll be like our text thread is like, oh my gosh, sis, I just saw you on this. You are killing it. Let me know if you need anything. Or I'll just share something of hers and be like, go find my friend Jen and read her book and do all these things with her because she's incredible and you're stupid if you don't. Right. And like, she didn't ask me to do that. She didn't pay me to do that. I show up like that because I want her to be the best that she can be. And I want to do what I can to show up for her. Same with Lori Harder, Rosie, my sister, Carolyn Briley, Christy Schnarl. Like there's a million people, a million women that are in my network that all show up like this, whether you ask them to or not. After you see that and after you experience that, there is no level below that is ever acceptable ever again. If you are going to compete with me, if you are going to tell me all of the problems without bringing me a solution, I have no place for you in my life. Thank you. I want you to eat. You just can't eat at my table.
Yes, exactly.
And I can say, Veena, you're definitely a girl's girl. Like I remember meeting you at the partnership, and I literally just asked her like randomly. This is the first time I've met her, you know, and I'm just like, I have a podcast.
You did. I remember.
It's just like, yes, you know, and I was like,
she told me, she sent me a voice note, like super excited.
I sent her a voice note. I was very excited, like, oh my God, you're not going to guess what just happened. And I just have to say, like, thank you, you know, for just being here and giving us the time, giving our podcast
absolutely
the time. Because I remember being so nervous. And I think the first question I asked, I said, if I want to be like you in 5 years, where do
I said,
and that brings me to this question, because I feel like there's a lot of women who'd be interested in this. So for women who are interested in learning more about just multifamily investing or just beginning their wealth building journey, what are some of the initial steps they could take? Like, let's just say it's us. We're just starting out. We don't know what to do. Like,
I say, you know what? I love Veena. We're doing it. 10 years, I'm going to be there. Where do I start?
Okay, you will be there, especially if you're going to have an attitude like that. You're going to get there, and I love it. Okay, so the first thing is the hardest thing, which is showing up.
Yeah, that's
99% of people will not show up, and that's okay. Like, I need those people to come and work for me and build my companies, and I need them to go to work so they can pay the rent on my units. So I'm not mad about this, okay? So one is show up. After you do that, know that you've done the hardest part of this, okay? The next thing is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth happens when we're uncomfortable. And look, it will be uncomfortable if you stay in the same spot for the next 10 years. It will also be uncomfortable if you try to grow to $1 billion in the next 10 years. They're both uncomfortable. Choose your discomfort. Exactly. And that's something I've learned from Rosie. She's like, look, both are going to be uncomfortable. You could stay the same and you can not grow, or you can grow. Both are going to be hard. Yeah. Choose your heart. Choose which discomfort you want.
Heart. That's the one.
Choose your heart. Choose your discomfort. So that's the second thing. The third thing is level up your circles. Find the people who are doing the things that you want to be doing and go be in proximity with them. Figure out how to be in proximity with them. You either have to pay your way in, you have to serve your way in, or you have to build a relationship to your way in. Those are the only ways to get in. Okay. And so if you want to go really, really fast, find a community and join the community and double down into it and get all of the value you can. Hint, pro tip, all of the value is in the relationships in that community. It's not in the education. The education,
it's not online for free.
It's the people. It's the people behind the paywall. Those are your partners. Those are your confidants. Those are your friends. When I hang out with my friends on the weekend, guess who I'm hanging out with? Other multifamily investors, other successful business owners. Why am I doing that? Because the osmosis of just being around them, how they show up in their everyday life will change the way you show up in your everyday life. If you hang around small-minded people, they will kill your dreams so quickly. So quickly. So get used to losing your friend circle, because you will. And every time you level up, you have to upgrade your friend circle. Does that mean like you leave your friends behind? No. It just means that what got me here isn't going to get me there. So I need to have bigger and better opportunities, bigger and better friends in my network around me. And I have to constantly be changing that. Now, I still have my core group of friends. They don't change. But the people I spend my time and energy and effort investing into have to give me an ROI, either personally, professionally, preferably both. And they have to pour into me just as much as I pour into them.
Yeah. That's what it is. But I feel like most of the time, what I have at least noticed is like when you show up for people normally, okay?
Yes.
They show up back to you.
Yes.
Or at least feel bad when they don't do it. At least they feel some type of way, you know?
Yes. But you have to also be looking at how they're showing up, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
They may only be capable of showing up to add stress or concern or complaints to you. And I'll tell you, like, even my husband, as great as he is, sometimes he will show up in a way that drives me absolutely bonkers. Yesterday, I got so annoyed with him because I booked this family vacation. We're going to Montana for community camp, Pace Morby's community camp. And I'm bringing the whole family. There are like no Airbnbs in Kalispell, Montana. Okay. And so I booked the only one that had 4 bedrooms that was available within driving distance. And now we find out that there's not central air conditioning. There's only air conditioning in like the kitchen, living room, and the basement's cool, whatever. In Montana, you don't really need air conditioning because it's like 50 degrees most nights. So it's really cool and pleasant. You don't really need air conditioning. It's like San Diego. It's not in every unit. And he goes, oh, did you know there's no air conditioning? I said, oh, I didn't realize that. Whoops. And then he goes, should we bring a fan? And I go, yeah, we can order some fans and bring them there, whatever. We'll just leave them there. Not a big deal. And then he comes back to me yesterday evening and goes, okay, the good news is that there is air conditioning in the kitchen. So it's not going to be completely cold. If looks could kill, I looked at that man, my sweet husband of 12 years, and I was livid. And I was like, I don't remember you making any effort to research what Airbnbs were available, booking any of them, taking any time to take any thought of this. So don't come. If you don't want to come, do not come. But I'm tired and I'm done hearing about this stupid AC problem. If this is an issue, call up some contractors and have them bring us some portable AC units. They probably cost like $1,000 or I don't know, $2,000, whatever it costs. Money isn't the problem. Go solve this problem or do not tell me about it anymore. Like, I have already thought of 1,000 things in the last 20 minutes while I'm listening to you complain about this air conditioning. So you're not showing up in abundance and you're not doing anything to solve the problem. And if I have friends like that are like draining me, and my husband doesn't do this very often, I have to be, I got to bring him back a little bit from this because he's a great partner. He's a great husband, great father.
Yeah, still we live with them. It's kind of, there's a lot of things that is like.
Every now and then I'm like,
yeah.
What do you mean? Go solve the problem.
What from me?
I know, like, oh. So anyway, but that, like, if you have friends that are showing up like that and they're just draining you and they're finding a problem for every solution, they've got to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
They've got to go. They cannot be there because it will take up negative real estate in your mind. And you just cannot afford to be living like that. Life is too short and we're trying to do too much to be able to be distracted like that.
Yeah.
Well, we have one more question for you because I know we're already like 50 minutes in. You want to ask?
No,
Ooh, okay, it must be a good one.
The second question is super short. So, well, actually, let me ask you that first. I wanted to see, so if you had to summarize your entire decade of real estate, your success actually, into one skill set or one thing that is what got you there, what is that one skill set or that one thing that you would attribute your success to?
I'll do it in one word. Mindset. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
Mindset. Absolutely, without a doubt, the mindset.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. That's okay. So last question we have for you. So looking ahead, what exciting trends do you see in the multifamily investment landscape and how can women position themselves to take advantage of these opportunities?
Okay, so I'll answer the second question first. Women should know that they belong in these rooms. You absolutely belong here. You are investors. We actually do make better investors than men do. You can see this statistically. It's not me saying this. Statistically, women do more with less money. So you belong here. There's no doubt about it. You are smart enough. You are capable. You belong here. You deserve to be here. Tell people what you're doing. Be proud. Go out and be great. So that's what women should do. Find other women that you can partner up with. I have a lot in my community. I have a free Facebook group called Mastering Multifamily with Veena Jetti.
Yes.
Join there. Post in there that you're looking to partner up. There are a million people that will come out of the woodwork to help you. So that's one. Two is, well, the first question was what I'm excited about. So what I'm excited about is I think that this is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity we have coming up in the next 12 to 24 months. And I believe that because there's a perfect storm in this part of the cycle. This is like the bear run or the bottom of the market. More millionaires and billionaires will emerge at this part of the market cycle than anywhere else in the market cycle. And the reason why I think this is going to be really unique for multifamily is because interest rates are high. We have an all-time high inflation rate. We have a low supply, single family home supply. We have high interest rates where people can't qualify for the same debt that they could qualify before. And they don't have the down payment. They don't have the cash to buy the same houses. So there's a 52% average increase in home ownership versus renting. So that means if someone rents, they will save 52% every month by not paying a mortgage. The calculation people are making today is not, should I buy or rent? It's, if I rent, I have 52% more money to pay for groceries, which are insanely expensive now, right? 10 years ago, people used to make the decision of, do I live in neighborhood A or B? Do I buy the forever home, 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, or can I get 5 bedrooms, right? That was the calculation people were making before. Today, people are making the calculation of, where am I going to rent that is going to serve my family the best because I need to be able to save money or just pay for everyday life. So that's like the difference in mindset today. So I think we're going to have a lot of really unique opportunity coming up in the next 12 to 24 months to acquire awesome deals that will actually serve us well when we come out of this bear run.
Yeah.
Now, I know you love teaching and you are a global speaker and you're everywhere talking about multifamily investing and how to get started. So can you tell our followers where they can find you, where they can connect with you? Because I think there's a lot of value in being, following you and seeing all the content that you put out.
Thank you. Absolutely. So you can find me on all social media platforms, Veena Jetti, VEE, and like Nancy A, JETTI. If you want to look at our investments, we're open to accredited investors in the U.S. You can go to Vive Funds, VIVEFUNDS.com. And I actually have a free masterclass that you can watch. I recorded, it's like 9 or 10 hours. That's on veenajetti.com. So you guys can visit there and you can grab that for free. And like I said, the free Facebook group. And when you're ready for something a little bit more, I actually have the Multify community now. And the Multify community is just a community of like-minded investors that come together, network, help each other, partner up, grow together. We've built a lot of businesses in there. And so you can come hang out with us there too. That's the Multify community. And you'll find us. Just find me and you'll find everything.
Yeah. Find me and you'll find that.
Easy.
You remind me of Jennifer when you were saying your socials, because she's always like at Jennifer J-A, and she always has to spell it out.
You have to, because
I'm like, I have to know they won't find me.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. We learned a lot.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you for having me.
And something that I also would like to tell you is that by listening to you, I can absolutely see how you have achieved everything. And also, you look like you are a giver. Just by listening to you, you give me the thing that you're a giver. And my mom always told me that life never give it to you back from the same way that you give it. It's just it comes from anywhere else. So everything that you have is because you have also poured it to the universe, you know?
Thank you.
All that blessing, girl, you brought it to yourself.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you, ladies.
It was so
I
nice
will see you at the top.
Oh yeah, we're meeting there.
I love it.
And we're having some champagne then.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Thank you, Veena, so much.
Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.